When an elderly man's urgent plea to access his own money was rejected by the rigid policies of a modern bank, no one could have foreseen a towering NBA legend stepping in as his unexpected champion. What unfolded next left everyone in awe. It began on a typical afternoon at First Capital Bank, its glass doors gleaming under the sun. Walter Thompson, a frail elderly man with hands worn by decades of hard work, was being forcibly escorted out. His wooden cane trembled in his grip as the security guards dragged him toward the exit. Walter's scuffed leather shoes squeaked against the pristine marble floors, a poignant reminder of his vulnerability. "Sir, I've explained this to you 3 times, barked the bank teller, her sharp tone slicing through the hushed lobby. "Without updated digital identification, we cannot grant you access to your account. It's policy." Walter's voice quivered as he pleaded, his words steeped in desperation. "Please, I've been a loyal customer for over 30 years. Miss Sarah used to know Mesh always helped me." In his trembling hands, Walter clutched a stack of crumpled paper-sold utility bills, a faded veteran's aid, and a worn social security letter. But as he fumbled, the documents scattered to the floor, fluttering down like autumn leaves. A few sympathetic customers moved to assist, but the guards intervened, waving them away. "You're causing a disturbance," one guard stated coldly. Walter's eyes filled with tears as he tried one last time to explain. "My wife's medication, she needs it today. The pharmacy closes at 5. I just need to withdraw my pension to pay for it." Outside the bank's glass walls, passers-by stopped to watch the commotion, their phones raised to capture the scene. Inside, the atmosphere grew tense, murmurs rippling through the crowd. Some customers averted their eyes, while others looked on, unable to ignore the injustice unfolding. "That's enough," the second guard barked, roughly grabbing Walter's elbow. Walter's cane fell to the floor with a clatter as he was pushed out, tears streaming down his face. Earlier that day, Walter had received devastating news. His wife, Margaret, battling cancer, required a new medication. The prescription cost $486 an amount Walter could access only through his account. But the bank's rigid policies stood as an impassable barrier. Sitting on a bench near the bank's entrance, Walter wept quietly, his once strong hands now trembling. At that moment, a sleek black SUV pulled into the bank's parking lot. Emerging from the vehicle was none other than Shaquille O'Neal, the towering NBA legend, accompanied by his teenage daughter, Myara. "Dad, look," Myara whispered, tugging on her father's sleeve. "Edmund needs help." Shaq's imposing frame cast a shadow over the elderly man as he approached. "Her, are you okay?" he asked, his deep voice calm and steady. Walter glanced up, hastily wiping his tears. "I'm sorry," he mumbled, his voice barely audible. "It's just, my wife needs her medication, and the bank won't let me withdraw my money. I don't have a smartphone for their app." Myara crouched beside Walter, gathering the scattered papers. "Dad, he's Coach Thompson," she exclaimed. "They told us about him at camp." Recognition lit up Shaq's face. Walter Thompson was a local legend, a retired coach who had dedicated his life to mentoring young athletes. "Coach Thompson," Shaq said warmly, extending his hand. "Let's fix this together." As Shaq, Myara, and Walter walked back into the bank, the room fell silent. Customers and employees alike turned to watch, phones raised to document the moment. Shaq's deep voice carried across the lobby, commanding attention. "Miss Stevens," he said, addressing the young bank manager, "we need to talk." Rebecca Stevens stiffened, clearly uneasy. "Mr. O'Neal, I understand your concern, but federal regulations." "Let me stop you right there," Shaq interrupted, his tone firm but measured. "I've served on the boards of banks. I know these regulations. This isn't about security. It's about bureaucracy. Coach Thompson has been here for decades without issue, yet you're denying him access to his own money because he doesn't have a smartphone." Shaq's words hung heavy in the air. Rebecca hesitated, glancing around the room. The tension was palpable. "Every minute we waste here," Shaq continued, his voice softening but still resolute, "is a minute his wife goes without the medication she needs. Is this the kind of institution you want to run? One that prioritizes apps over people?" Rebecca's expression shifted. With a deep breath, she walked to her desk and entered an emergency override. "I'll take full responsibility," she said, her voice tinged with newfound compassion. "Let's process your withdrawal, Coach Thompson." Walter clutched the envelope of cash with trembling hands, his eyes brimming with gratitude. "I don't know how to thank you," he said, his voice choked with emotion. Shaq placed a reassuring hand on Walter's shoulder. "Sometimes," he said with a gentle smile, The biggest assists happened off the court. Outside, Shaq handed Walter an additional sum of cash. Consider it an investment, he said, winking, for everything you've done for this community. As Walter and Shaq shared a handshake, Myra looked on, moved by the simple yet powerful moment. In a world often dominated by indifference, this act of kindness was a reminder of the profound impact of empathy and respect. What would you do if you witnessed someone like Walter being denied access to their money due to outdated policies? Should banks do more to accommodate the elderly and those without modern technology? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that highlight the humanity we all share.